We are back with Consumer Reports auto expert Keith Berry, and he's answering all of your summer travel and road trip questions. So don't forget to text us your questions, 336-379-5775. I'm already getting some great questions right now. So Keith, let's get back into it. This next question is about electric vehicles. If you own one or you want to rent one for vacation, are those better?
Yeah, it really depends on where you're driving and how long you're driving. So some EVs now have ranges that are very long, especially in the summertime. Hot weather does not reduce a car's range, an EV's range, as much as cold weather does. So in the summertime, an EV is not a bad choice at all. In a lot of places, it's actually less expensive to charge an EV than it is to pay for gas for gas-powered cars. And I know a lot of Teslas are in rental fleets. All of a sudden, they seem to be everywhere. The nice thing about Tesla is they've got this supercharger network, which is easy to use, and they're kind of everywhere to plug in. Not everywhere, but they're in a lot of places, especially if you're going to popular road trip destinations. Beforehand, what I would do is I would use Waze or Google Maps or websites like Charge Hub and PlugShare to see where chargers are going to be along the route. And also for something like a Tesla, some EVs have slightly, or just, they're a little more, some of the cars, they're a little more technologically advanced inside, and you'll have to kind of learn how to use them just the, kind of the first time. But you get used to it very easily. We drive a lot of them at CR, and we've taken them on road trips. I would be wary of going somewhere, very rural or somewhere where you don't see a lot of places to plug in. That could, leave you a little bit stranded. So have a couple of backup plans. But definitely, if you already own one, a lot of EVs will even have their built-in navigation systems will even route based on places to plug in. And some of them don't take that long to put a lot of charge on the vehicle, not from empty, but they fill it up pretty quickly. So yeah, I mean, I'd say maybe is the it's a very qualified answer to that question, but definitely worth looking into.
So as we know, road trips can be quite lengthy. How would you suggest making yourself comfortable in the car?
Absolutely. I think one of the best things to do is don't give yourself a time pressure, because don't leave yourself plenty of time. Don't say we have to get there and then we can't take any breaks. The last thing you want is for someone in the car to be upset or not feel well and not be able to use that rest area when you need it. I like to take breaks. I like to take walks, stretch my legs, have a plan ahead of time. Find a place to eat. Make the trip as part of the fun. Definitely breaks also mean safer driving, that you're not getting that fatigue after a long period of time. I prefer having something to listen to, having everything all set up ahead of time so you don't have any stressful surprises on the road. Also, sometimes when you stop, adjusting your seat just a little bit can put a little bit of different support in places in your back or your legs or whatever that might be feeling some fatigue over a long period of time. So that's something to think about as well. Just sort of making minor adjustments along the way.
I want to get to some viewer questions. We're starting to get some of those trickle on in here. A viewer asked, how far can you go on a temporary tire?
That's a great question. And sometimes it depends on the tire. I mean, the sort of ballpark figures around 50 miles. But what I think is actually more important than how long you can drive on it is how old your spare tire is. And we recommend at CR, we have a really extensive tire testing program. We say that about 10 years. So if your vehicle is older than 10 years old, you might actually need to get a new spare tire. And that's important because those tires can crack. They can start to deteriorate over time. And the last thing you want is to, both for practicality and safety's sake, is to have that donut blow out while you're driving. So look at your owner's manual to look at the exact number of miles. There might even be a sticker on it, and really adhere to that maximum speed as well. But check out how old the tire is, and if you go to cr.org, we actually have some ways you can decode some writing on the side of the spare to find out exactly how old it is and if it needs to be replaced, and make sure it's properly inflated too. because yes, tires can expire. They can have perfect amount of tread. They can have never been taken out of, spare can have been sitting in the back of the car, never used. And you go to put it on and it turns out that it goes flat immediately. It's no use. So check that out before you need to use it. But to answer your original question, about 50 miles is the kind of ballpark figure for you.